Do we all think this is Chat GPT talking? Because I do. Secondly, what is a 2-bit? Because I don't know. And these are just old people talking. They're both 50, in my opinion. Setting boundaries is malicious now? Okay. I had to get back in front of the camera because a thought came to me that I forgot to add to this video, and as I edit it, I'm probably gonna have more thoughts that I need to add to the video, so I'm gonna be in 2 different outfits. What I was thinking of is just like my intention in sharing this video. This morning I had a conversation with a very beautiful friend of mine that I adore. She was talking about making a YouTube page, and she was like, you know, is there like a specific niche that you had in mind when you started? And me and her are very similar in the sense that we are very full expression type women, where we don't have just one craft, we don't have just one art form, we don't have just one way that spirit uses us as a vessel. They come across in different ways, like we're both sexy, we're both vibrant as fuck, sassy, and truth tellers. Like we're both very passionate about justice and the truth. I was basically having a conversation with her revolving around there needs to be more truth tellers out here, and she said something that is exactly why I'm making this video, that these people out here running around doing grimy shit have no shame about it. I realized when we had that part of the conversation that this is a trauma response from what other than sexual abuse and conditioning of being a woman. The shame that we carry for other people, that is so not our responsibility, especially predatory or abusive people. That shit pisses me off. So if you see me on the internet talking my shit and you think that I should be ashamed of telling the truth that's literally on paper the truth, it's not my truth, it's the truth. It's the fuck on paper. You know that it's because it happened and it's the truth, and I have a passion for sharing the truth, because why the fuck are y'all out here acting like this? Thinking you're not gonna get told on. I am literally a narcissist's worst nightmare. Because this type of person will try and flip the script completely and make you look like a terrible person. And you'll see in this video that the narrative about me is that I'm a user, that I'm a slut, that I'm basically some like grimy sugar baby type, that, which I don't find sugar babies to be grimy, but that I actually wasn't playing that part in this situation. And that me setting boundaries means I'm cold or emotionally detached, and that's just altogether not true. And I don't subscribe to this narrative anymore that I should have shame about being a person with healthy boundaries, or a person who has a negative response to abuse. That's what you're supposed to have. You're not supposed to have abuse happen to you and just be like stoic. That's what I would like to add to this video. Before you enter, please enjoy. It's a long one. You'll see that I already suggest you get some snacks, but go get you a snack and sit down and get ready to really dive in, because this was a lot. It's Tuesday. The titties are out. And it's tea time. Real bad. We're gonna talk about why I don't work at where I used to work at. And it is definitely tea. So get you a snack and hang with me for a moment. We're gonna start with the breakup that occurred between me, myself, and an owner of several gyms that I used to work at. Yeah. if you want to grab all your stuff from my house, you can totally go get it. She was going somewhere. I don't know what's going on with us at this point, so it's there. And I was like, okay, I will be there at this time tomorrow. Thank you for getting my things together. And then she's like, oh, your ex-best friend will be there to watch her dog. And I was like, oh, figured. That's okay. She's like, well, I'm not gonna board her. My friend can't, and you're not gonna. And I was like, whatever you say. She literally boarded her the week before for 6 days. So, and this was a 2-day trip. So she said, okay, thanks. No idea what that means. Whatever I say, it's just mean. I said, it's not mean. It just is what it is. She said, it's justified anger, but it's fine. I'm not there at this point. Meaning, by the way, this is something I said to her. And this is like a repeated thing in this relationship where I would say something and then she would like take what I said verbatim and then flip it and use it on me, which made me feel fucking crazy for a long time. But like, I am not there at this point. Like, okay, so I said this to her because she was like super heightened and mad, and I was just in a really grounded space, and I was just like, I'm not gonna be where you are right now. Like, you're screaming at me in front of your child, you're yelling, it's not cool, and like where you're at, I'm not where you're at. I don't want to be mad. I'm listening to you. I'm expressing my emotional like status clearly and groundedly. And when I say grounded, I literally mean like without any emotional like reactivity involved, because it was just like a constant pattern in this relationship where she would try to ignite an emotional reaction out of me so she didn't have to apologize for the original conversation that was happening or why I felt something. The cause of the reaction, if you will. I said, I'm not arguing with you, but you do shit that could be perceived as shiesty when we aren't on good terms. You made choices that are your choices. I don't have to deal with them. And you think that's mean. She said, okay, Danielle, I hear where you are and I understand. I'm not shiesty. Keep your wall up. Have fun with that. You just perceive me based off your past bullshit, and that's the sad part. I'm just living my life. I guess that's shiesty. You are absolutely inaccurate. It's insanely hurtful to say, but it doesn't really faze me because it's so completely not who I am. This is a person who, every time her exes do something, she has to do it. Like, when we were together, her ex made a photography studio that looked like her gyms, and she went and completely redid her gyms. Then her baby mom, went to Mexico. The next week, we were in Mexico. Like, you think I don't peep shit like that because I keep my mouth shut about it? Sometimes I don't. But those were the two most recent things that just are off the top of my head. And then she said, I could say the same thing about you, shiesty. You know, I'm really trying not to go there and really believe what we had was love and not what my head tells me. So please keep your wall up, but we don't need to hurt each other. Says the person who is literally verbally abusive. She was like, I don't have to deal with your choices. We are on the same page. By the way, I didn't answer any of these. I said, I shouldn't have to explain this, but it's gross that you would put me in a position to have to go to the house to pick up my things in front of said ex-best friend. There is no privacy in doing that for the sake of my professional life, because we all work together, by the way. For many reasons, I do find it fucked up that you'd go as low as engaging her for things that easily have other solutions. I'm not elaborating on that. It's not hate, it's real. This person, from the start, plotted on the demise of this relationship, and now you're giving her access to watch it front row seat. I don't think we have the same definition of shiesty, and I think you're just talking for some tit for tat shit instead of listening, as it's been the majority of the relationship. She said, I don't even want you to pick up your shit. I just don't know where your head is. I don't want you to think I'm holding your stuff. I got it together the other day. She has no clue. I don't talk to her like that. I didn't answer. The next day she was like, I miss you, da 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 da. I want you to be on this trip with me, because she went back on vacation. Anyway, And I said, as for my ex-best friend, she definitely can put two and two together that I'm in town not watching your dog and then going to the house and picking up a bunch of stuff. And there are always other options. Whether you hated that boarding place or not, 2 days versus the 5 she was there, or find another place. I also still feel that asking your partner not to like other women's, specific women's, by the way, it was literally 2 people who I had an issue with, and neither one of them was her baby mom. Like, I don't understand the issue here. To not like other women's IG posts is such an easy ask, and that's not even what I said. But even if it were what I was asking for or what I needed, I know I wouldn't get that, and it just feels so simple to me. I've communicated boundaries to you multiple times, multiple ways that you say you understand, then you do it anyway. Meaning boundary violations that I've come to understand are very simple asks and just already not behavior that like normal adults engage in. Healthy adults. I shouldn't say normal, because normal doesn't mean the majority. I mean normal, like healthy. I said, things that are said by you when you're defensive haven't been accounted for and have stacked up over time. I feel like I've consistently been the partner who's communicating and then being demonized for doing so, even if I do the best I can because you feel attacked or criticized. She said, I can understand the ex-best friend thing. I don't care what she thinks, and I'm not giving away my business. I'm sorry if that decision hurts your feelings. And she's having an affair with a married woman, so it's not like she has any right to judge. But they're best friends now, mind you. She said, then it's okay for me to say to you to not like any other woman's photos? Is that the kind of relationship you want? Classic gaslighting, because I literally said in the message, like, that's not even what I asked you for. I said, I'm literally saying that isn't what I asked. You don't have to be on the floor with them, and they naturally have to respect you as the owner, meaning the people who are now in my business that I have to work with. I said, you have said some really nasty things about me that cause distance, and this is something I've brought up from the beginning arguments. Things that you say when you're angry or defensive cut very deep and are rarely accounted for. She said, it's not that I'm not trying to account for them. I'm in a rage saying things I don't mean, so it's hard to account. I said, I feel like if I don't make myself convenient to you in your life, we won't have a relationship. I get rageful and still don't say the things you say or match you. If I live at home full time, which I enjoy doing, we will literally not see each other because you don't put energy into coming into my world and the things I've built for myself and my own community. I said, I do find texting your baby mom on dates to be disrespectful to me. I do find her texting you on vacation with me about money is disrespectful to me. And you don't have healthy boundaries with her, whether you think it's healthy or not. It's inappropriate. She told me that I was intruding on their conversations because we were on FaceTime once, or they were on FaceTime with the child, but then the child walked away and I'm sitting there, we're on vacation, and she's just on FaceTime with her baby mom talking. And then she told me I was imposing on their conversation and talked to me crazy in front of her fake fucking baby mother. I knew it was done then. I said, telling me I'm intruding or imposing on y'all conversations after months of these kinds of arguments and me not being heard, and the assumption that was placed on me that it's all about infidelity, which it wasn't. I believe that when I saw you deleting texts between her and her baby mom, there was no rebuilding that happened after that, no matter the context. The context of those texts wasn't inappropriate, so what happens in your phone when something is risky or inappropriate? I know what those texts said that she deleted, I think, because she asked her baby mom to send her a screenshot of what she had deleted because she deleted them, and I told her if I don't see what those texts said, this is over. It was like 2 months after we started dating. I said I would never know what happens in your phone when things are inappropriate, and not being allowed to voice my opinions has worn on me. That and other things could have been an opportunity for learning and connection, and it's piled up in the opposite direction. Okay, you don't want this. It's clear as day, Danielle. That's from her. I said, I don't want to be with someone who can't hear me and can't be accountable. She said, I think your language is quite definitive. She's like, you have so much resentment, blah, blah, blah. You hate me, you hate me. And I was like, you haven't resolved anything with me. You don't apologize, you don't change your actions. I take so much energy to elaborate. I'm done explaining. That was trauma, and you know it. I explained myself. The deleting text messages. I don't give a fuck. You're grown. Explaining yourself and talking over me are different from listening to me and apologizing and being accountable for your actions. She's like, you always hang that over my head. That is not true. I literally haven't been allowed to talk about it the entire relationship. I responded to the message that I had sent about how she doesn't make an effort to come to my house, which I have my own apartment, or to come to boot camp or other things that I had built for myself. And she had never even responded to that part. I said, this is a major part of friendship to me. She said, you wanted to move in, now I don't. I said, that is not true. I told you from jump I wasn't moving in until I had my own space either there or we bought something together. I responded to the message I sent that was unaddressed about the baby mom texting on dates and vacations. I said, this was a boundary I set very early on that continues to be violated. She said, you take things the wrong way. I said, defensive. She said, can we talk on the phone? I said, no. This is just the text messages, and we've already spent a decent amount of time on it. I'm gonna scroll a little bit. It's more like, you hate me, I don't listen, you decided this, da 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 da, you should have let me know how miserable you were, you strung me along, playing the victim, because like, avoidance of accountability. Again, this was like the same exact type of conversation that was had at least twice a month for 9 months. La 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 la. She's capital texting me now, clear as day. I said, stop texting me. She said, you are acting like said abusive ex. So I blocked her number. Now let's move on to emails. So in these emails, there's a lot of the same shit. So I'm just gonna save y'all from the repetitive, gaslighty, nasty shit that was going on, but I am going to touch on some key points. I can't believe you blocked me. We have to work together until you find your next stuff, which I'm assuming will be faster because you blocked me. I will be around and I will be in classes, even yours, since you teach whole blocks. So we will need to figure out some way to get along until then. I'll never disrespect you at work. I'll keep it respectful and I'll expect the same in return. I am shocked that you blocked me. When I saw this, I recalled that she did not ever really take my classes throughout the entirety of the relationship. 1. 2, she had disrespected me on multiple accounts and occasions in the gym in front of other employees and clients, to the point where one of the blocks I was teaching, she reamed me out so hard that I was crying. And then the day that I caught her deleting texts from her baby mom was also at one of the gyms, and I had to teach another class after that. And when I was like, did I just see you deleting texts from your baby mom? She literally yelled at me and then went outside with me and continued yelling at me, and I was crying. And I wasn't even in the wrong. She just got caught doing something bad. I don't believe you. I don't believe you that you're gonna respect me in the workplace. You never did. Also, why do you need to take my class when you own several gyms? So when I'm at gym A, go to gym B. When I'm at gym B, go to gym A. It's very simple. Or work out in your home gym like you had been the whole 9 months we were together. I said, please respect my space and avoid my classes for the time being. Thank you. And it should be very easy to not go to gym A Tuesday mornings and not go to gym B Thursday mornings. And I don't teach often enough to where we have to run into each other. I teach 2 days a week, 1 day at one gym, 1 day at the other gym. Like, you have other options. She said, I will not avoid my businesses. I'm sorry you're acting like this. We spoke about this in the beginning. I will not avoid my companies, and I will not be treated with disrespect. I will be coming to those classes. Those are the classes I take. I did not answer that. because we did talk in the beginning, and it was about respecting boundaries and being professional in the workplace, and all of those things had been crossed at this point. And I'm, again, feel that the boundaries I was setting were fair and for the highest good of all parties. Because if I'm teaching and I'm in a heightened state, the entire room is going to feel that, and we've had many conversations about that. So she emails me again, can we please have a conversation, yada yada, I care about you so much, it wasn't so fling, I can't believe you're cutting me off like this, I can't believe you hate me like this, please talk to me, I promise I'll listen, please. Another email, I won't avoid my businesses, I will come when I want, that will be this day at this time, and I will respect you and you can do the same. We promised that in the beginning, and I'm holding my word. You know what a trigger for me is, to have to avoid my own businesses. I'm literally shaking writing this. Please, I don't know why you're trying to hurt me like this. It's a hard no. I'll be at the gyms, period, without any restrictions. I won't be another email. I won't be told. I haven't answered any of these, by the way, if you're wondering. I haven't answered any of the last 4 emails. I won't be told when to come to my companies. That's controlling, and I won't tolerate that. I wouldn't do that to you either. You can be there whenever you need for PTs and classes. I won't accept that work environment, and we took that chance when we decided to be partners. I said, I believe there's no reason that you couldn't take Gym B on Tuesday and Gym A on Thursday, which is the opposite of my schedule. It's not about avoiding your businesses, but about maintaining peace and respecting space for the time being, as it is heightening for me and very fresh. If you'd like me to perform to the top of my capabilities, I believe you will respect this. Thank you. She said, I'm not an employee. I'm the owner, and you have zero right to ask me this. I won't tolerate anything less than respect. And as I said, I will hold the same values when it comes to you. We will have to separate business from our past relationship. There's no other way. If you won't accept that, then you can make your own decision of what you would like to do moving forward. There's no negotiating this. Thank you for understanding. Another email, I did not reply. She said, you will have to figure it out, Danielle. I'm taking A Tuesday, B Thursday. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Another email, I didn't respond. I don't do X days, and again, it's not your choice of when I come to the gyms. I like A Tuesday, I like B Thursday, period. I said, okay, so what I'm gathering is that you are not going to respect my boundaries, and you find me asking you not to be a distraction to my well-being and coaching disrespectful. As a leader, I find this to be unprofessional and inappropriate, especially being that we've had conversations before about the quality of my energy being important, and when I'm uncomfortable, I am less focused on serving the clients. You are making me uncomfortable and not listening to me or respecting my wishes, even for a short period, because of your ego and your wants. I will not be continuing my career in your gyms. I will give admin my 2 weeks notice now. Take care. She said, wow, Danielle, you never gave one shit about me or loved me. What an idiot I was. I will let admin know myself now. I'll take that as your notice. I didn't answer that. She said, I'll leave you alone. You broke my heart. I never wanted to hurt you. I adored you. I'm sorry this is ending this way. My heart aches. You take care of your notice. I need to stay out of it. It's too emotional for me. I wish you would take your wall down for 1 second. See me as a human. I said, I think the issue at hand is and has been that I am communicating my boundaries and needs, and you are telling me you're unwilling to work with them. Now I must move accordingly. I have given my notice. My care for you has been abundantly expressed, and so has my hurt. I've taken the time and energy to express with clarity the things that have hurt me, not just now, but throughout this relationship, and I communicated that certain things would build up and cause a wedge or a wall between us. And because you couldn't hear me or accommodate or consider what I need, they have built up. There are power and control games being played right now that I will not partake in. That is why I'm moving accordingly, and as you said, you will not respect my boundaries. You may perceive me as cold and have your own narrative, but it is as simple as me truly holding my boundaries and holding you accountable for the numerous times you have hurt me with your words by not offering further access to me. I do wish you the best, and I hope that you can see more clearly beyond your own narrative eventually. After this last email that she sent, I had to block her email because she wouldn't stop. There's a bit more. As you can probably see that there's time left on this video. Hang with me. This is just wild. Just such a wild ride. She said, okay, Danielle, this language is quite telling. Like, I was just a transaction. I'm over it, to be honest. I'm not going to beg for a conversation. I'm not worth it to you. You think this is power and control because that's your projection and what you know. I do see clearly, and let's not forget, I have been through this exact bullshit. No idea what she's referencing there. I mean, maybe it's a pattern for her to not respect people's boundaries, so there's that. No need for 2 weeks. We have you covered by today. Can I sue for that? And then she told me to bring a gift that was given to me back to the gym because she was trying to have any amount of control over me and threatened to take it out of my last check because it was on the gym's credit card. Girl. Oh, and then she said that I got my car fixed and I won because she paid for some things in my car to get fixed, as she offered to. So, like, okay, my thing with this is, she has every ounce of an idea of the fact that she is in a different tax bracket than me, and she advertised herself before this relationship started of wanting to be a provider, wanting, just like all the sugar daddies do out here. So why are you mad that you're taking care of things that you're offering to take care of? Because you can't control me? Right. Anywho, let me pull up some other screenshots. I blocked her email. I got a new job, or I got a new job offer that I ended up not taking, which I mentioned before in another video because their cuts were fucking stupid. They were talking about some, you get 30%, we get 70%. Huh? You must be out your fucking mind. Let me tell you what I'm not gonna do. Because then her friend reached out to me. Oh. When she saw on Instagram that this other gym offered me a job. I don't know if you can see this. No caller ID at 6:20 in the morning. Like an entire page of times, right? Voicemails with her voice on them. You're just trying to hurt me, da da da. Losing her mind. 6:15 in the morning. 6:15. Look at the timestamp. Can you see this? Oh my god. I can only hope that you can see this. And then that. Yeah. Oh, and then another voicemail at 6:22 a.m. Now, again, I got several job offers after leaving this space. And then I realized that for myself, I just feel called to do my own shit from now on. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I started this journey of the decision-making process 2 weeks ago when I found out my other gym that didn't have anything to do with her was also closing. And I was just like, no, the universe is like doing something, because everywhere I'm going, it just doesn't feel right. Oh my god, I'm watching a lizard eat a whole flower. I've never seen that before. Alright, so then she was sending me voicemails, blowing my phone up while I was training for the other job, by the way. And I was just like, oh my god, like the adrenaline of like the body when you're under that amount of stress, and you're just like, oh my god. And just nothing felt right. Like none of the other gyms felt right. I was ready to leave her gyms, and I was ready to leave everywhere and start my own shit, and I just have been calling that in for months. So I'm doing my own shit. If you want to hire a personal trainer, a nutrition coach, I'm amazing at what I do, so holler at your girl. Her friend then DMs me on Instagram, and this friend of hers was the friend that after she took sexy pictures of me, she would send this friend the sexy picture and basically like show me off, which is really just like pimping me out though. Like that's nasty. Like what person that loves you, there's a beautiful butterfly. What person that loves you is sending your picture sexually to their homeboy and being like, look what I got. Like, I'm not a fucking piece of meat. And at the time, like, I was fine with it, because I was just like, if that's what you want to do, like, if that's your version of showing me off, then whatever. But that story is important now because I'm being slut shamed by the same person who was sexualizing me with her. So he said, "You are the kind of trash that dresses itself up and calls it luxury. Nothing about you is real except your ability to lie, manipulate, and destroy anything good that walks into your life. You're not misunderstood. You're not broken. You're calculated, cold, and soulless." I've never been described as soulless. You were given everything, not just money, love, trust, devotion, and status that someone like you could never reach on your own. What status? I worked for that bitch before we dated, in the same capacity that I worked for that bitch when we dated. What are you talking about? My status didn't change being with her. I don't know what he means by that. And what did you do? You played the long game. You smiled, spread your legs, and latched on like the parasite you are, knowing exactly how to suck a good person dry. I was celibate before I got into that relationship for 2 years. So having sex at all was like a whole thing for me. He said, "You didn't grow, you grifted. You didn't leave with dignity. You dumped her over a fucking text like the emotionally bankrupt coward you've always been, then ran to her competition like the loyalty devoid, 2-bit scammer you are. You thought that made you powerful? Nah, that made you predictable." And the question I have from this is, well, do we all think this is ChatGPT talking? Because I do. Secondly, what is a 2-bit? Can someone tell me what a 2-bit is? Because I don't know. And these are just old people talking. They're both 50, in my opinion. I said, "You're an adult human." Oh, by the way, this man works for 988, the suicide hotline, and other mental health, like, advocacy centers. So I'm dead. I'm fucking dead. I said, "You're an adult human speaking to another adult human with intent to hurt and harm, allowing another person's perception and feelings and behavior to dictate your own, and making judgments on someone you don't personally know. I don't have anything to defend. I didn't suck anyone dry. I know who I am and the ways I showed up to this relationship. And I know that the ways I was treated were not something I'm willing to tolerate moving forward. You received half a story, and that's fine because you're her friend, not mine, but you don't need access to me, so I'm going to block you, as I won't desire absolutely nothing to do with her life or her situation." He then emailed me. This is an important point because how the fuck did you get my email if not through her? Just remember that point. He said, "Danielle, you called me a human being with intent to harm." I'm going to attach these on the video. "That's rich coming from someone who's done nothing but harm. You want to throw around language like you're some kind of enlightened guru, but you sound like a delusional hypocrite with a hooker past and a martyr complex." A hooker? "You've taken zero accountability for your part in any. You just blame, deflect, and gaslight because owning your behavior would shatter that fragile little narrative where you're always some victim or sacred healer." Where the fuck is he getting that from? He said, "You didn't suck anyone dry. That's laughable. You emotionally drained her until there was nothing left and then blamed her for bleeding." Poetic. "You walked away like a coward, throwing cheap shots and hiding behind spiritual buzzwords to mask the fact that you're a walking contradiction. You want to talk about intention to harm? Your entire exit was engineered to hurt." Setting boundaries is malicious now? Okay. "Stop pretending you're enlightened. You're a con in a hooker costume pretending to be a guru, and the act is tired. Everyone sees through it now with love and light." Now, I've never pretended to be a sacred healer or anything of the sort. The slut shaming shit from a mental health advocate is wild as fuck. I said, "Friend name, stop contacting me, as I will be contacting the authorities regarding the harassment that I am receiving from such and such and you." My brother had to step in and use his lawyer words, as well as one of my other loved ones. So yeah, everyone concretely agreed that these are not normal behaviors for adult human beings, and that is the reason I no longer work where I used to work at. And that is your piping hot tea this fine Tuesday. And if you were wondering, the titties are tittying.